welcome back to another episode of Limitless Speaks, where this month it's all about women. So today we're going to be focusing on sisterhood versus cliques and how to build a deeper and healthier relationship. So today with me, my name is Ayala. I have two lovely ladies with me to, broaden our understanding and to just discuss a bit further on what sisterhood means and what being in a clique means per se. So to my right, I have...
Hi, I'm Florence.
Okay. We also have here our lovely, wonderful...
Hi.
So we're just gonna discuss and chat on sisterhood versus cliques. So ladies, what does sisterhood mean? What does that mean to you, Florence?
Well, I feel like sisterhood is like a bond amongst a group of girls, a group of sisters.
Right.
Not necessarily like closely related per se, but yeah, like it says here in Google, just a relationship between sisters. And then like it says here as well, much of sisterhood is about sharing lips. Hey, never mind about that. But yeah, I think it's much more than that though. I think sisterhood goes deeper. You discuss ideas, you're there for each other, that kind of thing. Much like a sister. Like in that Bible verse that says, what is it? Friend stays closer to brother.
Yeah.
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 Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. That would probably be on the same line as you. And Auntie BC, can you just give us a little maybe understanding or just knowledge on sisterhood?
Well, it's kind of similar to what Florence has said, but the friendship, but it's a step further from just your basic, so it's taking it a bit deeper where you share more intimate things, deeper things, as the word implies, sisterhood, you tell your sister everything, so, ish, so kind of like that step further.
Right. So sisterhood essentially is just that deeper aspect, taking things further in a friendship and just being closer to one another. And now we're also going to look at a clique. Most times I feel like when people hear the word clique kind of thing, we have like these air quotes like, oh my days, like, clique is not good, like when you're in primary school or high school, like you got the cliquey like mean girls or something like that. Most times that's what people understand. But now we're a bit older, I would like to ask you, Florence, what do you think a clique means?
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a clique is still, it has connotations to like being exclusive.
Okay.
So it is still that bond, but it's that whole like exclusivity like factor, like who do we allow into our group, and based on things that may not necessarily be I don't know, they may not necessarily be like, I don't know, substantial or whatnot.
Okay.
But like different from like sisterhood, like I do understand like you could have different areas in your lives where you have like friend groups and different things, but I feel like a clique is different where like there's that bit of like tension and you don't like you're I don't know if I'm
Okay.
getting it right. Do you get what I mean?
Okay. NTBC?
Well, it all depends. I think if we look at the dictionary meaning, it means something like bad, exclusivity. But really, I don't see it that way. I think it also depends because if I look at myself, my life, I should have people I let into my space. I have a right to say, okay, yes, I'm friendly to everybody, but I take it a step further with da 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 da.
Yeah.
So I think it all depends, in my own opinion, of cliques. I think it all depends on what the clique is all about.
Yeah.
Yes, generally cliques are maybe all for bad things and all that, but you could have cliques where, or maybe not use the word clique, I don't know,
Okay.
but for me,
Yeah.
it's sort of like cliquish as well, where you have groups of friends for different reasons.
Okay.
I think expecting one person or your friend or your sister, to provide everything you want for you is fallacy. You will fail. You cannot expect. That's putting too much pressure on that person. So I feel you would have those different groups of people for different things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think in my opinion, is it good? Is it bad? I think it all depends on what context we're speaking about.
Yeah.
But then wouldn't that be like more like a friendship, do you think? Or like what you're describing right now is like, could you have certain friends for this one?
Yeah, that's why I Google. I don't know. Sometimes dictionary meaning of things.
Yeah.
Friendships. They're cliques.
They're cliques, okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So They are cliques. It's just that for me, I have friends. I have loads of friends, but I have different friends for different reasons, And I'm not saying, anything bad or whatever, but I have friends if, when the chips are down, like really down, I know who to call.
Yeah.
The truth is, not all my friends can be there for me in that certain way. And it doesn't mean those friends are bad, if you get what I mean. They just don't have the capacity to give me that. And there's some friends where, maybe I need help, or I have an event to plan. They know who to call. They know they have contacts. I have friends for that, So I would say those are kind of cliques. I don't know, in my opinion.
So I agree with both of you, but I just got like a little vibe right now where Auntie BC is saying that, cliques depends on you as a person as well, who you surround yourself with, which is really important. And as well as what Florence is saying, how cliques can be like maybe surface level. You could say that, or just depending. But I would like to ask you, Auntie BC, in your life, maybe, would you say that there are some cliques or friendship groups, we can even say that actually, that you've had that have developed into sisterhood?
Yes, definitely.
So that just came to me where like sisterhood doesn't just start in
exactly.
It doesn't start in a day, or in, what did they say? Rome was not built in a day, or stuff like that. So you will have to have like, okay, this person or whatever, like, oh, I like the vibe, I get along with them. Okay, we're going to church together, and like, oh, I feel more comfortable around this person, and so on, so on. You now build into that sisterhood. So deeper relationships and healthy relationships don't start in one day or 1 week or 1 month. Because I believe that even in friendships, when you become friends with someone, there are traits that you may have or that person may have that they may need help with to do away with. Some people may have toxic traits when they were like, they had previous friends, I never told them about it. And you now become that person to develop that deeper relationship with, to help them do away with that. What's the Bible verse that says, what is it? Proverbs 27. Oh, I'm trying to quote. Proverbs 27, where it says that you show loyalty to your friends by being generous, supportive, honest, and trustworthy. The Bible says that a good friend will still stick closer than a brother. A brother is someone you've grown up with, essentially. When you have siblings, you basically grew up with it. So you can just imagine the Bible comparing that of a friend. So I think sisterhood, I don't know if you agree with me, is a thing of development. It's not something that you can just say, I'm in a sisterhood, or I'm in Florence, you're my sister.
Like when I see that person,
sister, we're connected because,
something deeper.
Something deeper than that. And just going off of that, Florence, would you say that in your life maybe that you've probably, I don't know, been part of friendship groups that you're looking back at now that you don't even see that could, help you develop a sisterhood or that kind of deeper, healthy kind of vibe in a relationship?
I wouldn't say so, to be honest. I think just because of the type of person I am, I'm very picky with like who I call my friend and stuff. And when I'm speaking with someone, because like me being introverted, I don't like speaking on like a shallow sort of basis, like how are you fine, and then we go on with our day. But like, so I, especially from early, was looking for those friendships where we could just sit down, we could talk about deeper things, build each other up, talk about ideas, that kind of thing. But I did recognize cliques around me that weren't too good. Like there were more on the connotations that I was speaking about earlier, about like exclusivity and all those things. So that was my brief.
And Auntie BC as well, I'd like to ask you, like, how did you, I don't know if you can give us a few points on maybe like, how did you go from some clique friendships into that sisterhood?
So I think part of what we learned in church is the fact that what you're willing to give is what will be given back up to you. So I think, and I realized that in my life, I've literally lived my life based on that principle. I'm a deep person. I'm just a deep person, So friendships that are a bit superficial or not deep, I can have them and all that, but it's just not going to go anywhere, and it's fine. But you would notice those people who want to go into that deeper relationship with you, and then you take it there. So for me, it's about, I have people who say, especially when it comes to friendship, is a topic that is so, is very important to me, because I relate friendship even to marriage as well, because that's why you get to marry your friend. It all starts with this relationships and friendships. It's very, very deep. I think everything as in our Christian life is based on, the quality of friendships and relationships that we have. So if I'm speaking to a person or a friend, and the person is telling me, oh yeah, when we see, when we talk, for me it's like, how are we going to, we can't, you just cannot get to that next level. I mean, try it with Jesus. Jesus wants that communication, that friendship. Jesus, what's up, what am I wearing today? He wants you to really, really, he wants to hear everything. And the people that really talk to God on that level, you see them having this deeper relationship with God. God is revealing to them before some of us. You get what I mean? So that's just the basis of friendship. And I've had people who I know that, we did not start off as, it was just maybe acquaintances, and or maybe someone I met through someone else, and then I end up being closer to that third person. It is strange, but I think it all comes down to values. Do we have the same values, And these are part of the things that draw people closer to each other. It's not because, oh, you're good, you're bad, or no. It's just, do we share the same values? Do we have the same thinking, or at least similar, Even background, upbringing also kind of connects you together. Are we Christians? These are factors that really connect us together. So there's some of these things that I've been able to pick in some people. And okay, that check. Oh, like okay, that. check. And it comes to marriage as well. That is how you get to say, okay, that guy, okay, we're talking on this level, we are relating on this level, we have the same values, it's the same exact principles that work in marriage, and then you go, okay, and that's how you find some people in marriage, and they're like friends, they just, it just goes. It's not necessarily, yes, it's the grace of God, but there is that deep friendship that has started, and it's just keeps growing into marriage, and the other one goes into sisterhood
and all. I completely agree with Auntie BC. Thank you so much. But I just also want to lay emphasis on the fact that we're also talking about healthy as well. So we've established that yes, we can have deeper relationships, but I have seen people that have a deep connection where it's nothing but toxicity. Toxicity, do you know what I mean? Because they confide in certain people. They call that person their friend because they can confide all these deep things in them, but there's no healthiness, there's no, positivity. Do you know what I mean? If I'm doing something wrong and I'm confiding in someone and they're like, yeah, just, they're not telling me how it is. Do you know what I mean? What's the verse that says correct? Is it correct your brother
in love
or something like that? Yes, correct your brother in love, and don't let them fall, basically. So how do you now add that aspect of healthiness in the sense now you have these friendships, right? So for example, you can say that, oh, I'm friends with a couple of people in church, we're building that deeper Christian, Jesus loving relationship. But then how do I get that healthy aspect where it's I can go to you and talk to you about things? I know it's not everybody you can do that with, but at the same time, let's just establish how do we add healthiness to relationships?
I think for me, the first thing is boundaries, in any relationship. And sorry, but a lot of times when I talk about friendship, I relate it to marriage, I relate it to even relationship between a parent and a child as well. We all have to understand that there are boundaries. And that's just the truth. And we have to appreciate and we have to respect those boundaries. Now, when I first got married, I thought, my husband will tell everything, nothing. There is no way you can't go, or there is no, which is, that's what's supposed to happen. But there are also boundaries whereby you need to understand when this person is in the mood to talk. And you respect that. It's not because it's not about you. So for me, I think one of the main things that helps us build healthy relationships is putting boundaries and respecting boundaries, and obviously hoping people will respect your boundaries. So that's one of the things. Another thing is you have to have a massively big heart to have healthy relations. You just have to have a massively big heart and know that it's not always about you. It's something I've learned, and I'm learning every time, sometimes when someone does something, I'm like, don't they know that I'm blah, blah, blah. You're making it about you, but my dear, this situation right here is not really about you. It's a bit further than that, and even with kids, sometimes when maybe they do something, and it's not about them or, what they've done is a deeper thing. So I would say, number one, boundaries, and number two, have a big heart. That helps you to kind of build those healthy relationships. And then once those things are not being ticked, you know when to walk. It's an easy decision,
Process,
you know,
yeah.
like, well, this person is just not respecting my boundaries. I'm
Yeah.
at work. I cannot pick up a call now. So you need to understand that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Do you have any points on that, Florence?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing that too. I think I'll just refer back to the verse that I started with about the, friend who sticks closer than a brother. So in the first half, it says, a man who has friends must himself be friendly.
Friendly.
Yeah, so just like you said, and then there's another verse as well, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You know what I mean? So if you don't have that love for yourself, what are you pouring into your
give what you
friendship?
don't have.
Exactly, yeah. So that's my own contribution.
I completely agree with you guys. Honestly, we're speaking one voice here. But just to even take it a bit further, so as you said, yes, we need a big heart in order to have a healthier, deeper, strong foundation of, friendship, sisterhood, a relationship. Just on that, like, how would you guys say that in these sisterhoods that I believe you've developed, both of you, yes, and myself as well, thank Jesus. How do you, because I believe that I don't know, maybe some people believe that you shouldn't argue with your friends or anything like that. Like there should be no clashing or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you clash, it's not necessarily a bad thing, honestly. But some people they think they might have that deepness or healthiness, but once there's a clash,
That's it.
do you know what I mean? So how do you now add that into the equation this is big heart plus how do you add everything together? Because it's really important, like as you said, boundaries. Sometimes you're like, oh, like, yeah, I really like this, my friend, I understand her, I don't want to step on her toes. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes people need that extra push in a loving way, of course. So how do we kind of add that into the equation without being without looking at your friend and making them feel guilty or shameful of things or whatever like that? How do you add that loving aspect of maybe as a correction, or just sometimes clashing? It's not a bad thing sometimes. So how do you now go on with that?
Number one, you have to have tact. It's not even only in friendship. It means a lot to me. Tact in everything you do, in how you. I mean, read the room, emotional intelligence, what's going on here? Okay, this is how they do it, and flow in. So the tact also comes in your friendships, in your relationships as well. There's some people say it as it is, it's not going to be a big deal. There's some people you need to maybe know the time to approach. So I think that's where the effort, you just need to put efforts in friendships, in relationships. And if you don't put efforts in it, you're not going to get back.
Wherever you sow, you reap.
That's it, you know. So if you know that, okay, you need to understand who you're with, then you build your expectations around them. So if you don't understand, you can't just expect that, I expect my friend to know that I'm a certain type of way if you don't communicate. So number one, I would say tact would help you to do that. Then number two, I would say, sorry, I lost my track of thoughts there. What were we talking about?
One tact. How to
correction. Okay.
Yeah.
So tact is one of them. And also thinking that you would have a healthy relationship without arguments. Don't let us use the word arguments so that it's not like we're fighting or anything, but without spirited conversations, and all. There are just some things that is false. Just take it out of your mind or your mindset, And like I said, I would always take it back to marriage or relationship, deeper relationship, because I am myself and my husband, we are real friends, you know. If we take marriage away, we will still chat and, and all that. But you would have things you disagree on. That's why sometimes, God is the perfect person. He knows how to bring two people together. You cannot be the same. I'm a bit chatty, my husband is not, so there will be times where he'll say, you're talking too much. There will be time when I'm saying you're not talking enough. So it would happen, so it's all about knowing that, okay, what are the things that this person maybe you're doing and I'm not too cool with, but you need to know that if I'm going to correct you with tact and love, I should also be able to receive it. Because that means the person, if I'm giving that person if that person is giving me room to correct them and say, okay, you're not doing something right, then I should also be open enough. That's where the big heart comes in to receive that correction as well and be you're not you're not trying there, blah blah blah. Oh, this is it, and you explain and you talk about it. There are times where the arguments will lead to we go for a couple of days, I'm not speaking to you again, blah blah blah. But then you need to be mature enough to know when to come back. For you, like I can only speak for myself. I will always tell myself, say I have an argument, I have a friend where, we chat, we argue a lot, In
Yeah.
fact, I would tell myself, okay, I'm going to be the bigger person. But if she's thinking that, then we have a healthy relationship because we're both thinking, I'm going to be the bigger person, I'm going to be.
Yeah.
But if I'm always being the bigger person, I choose to be small. It's true. It is true. You cannot keep giving and giving and giving. And that's why people burn out. And you think, oh, that relationship is not bad. No, you need to put that boundary. I have, although we should try, but 70 times 7 as close as we can to forgive and make a relationship work and all that. But you cannot always be giving and giving and giving and being the one that, okay, I'll swallow my pride. I would, So I would say tact and then, if you correct,
and humility and all.
you're ready to receive it back.
So, guys, this is an episode that's concluded sisterhood versus cliques, or should I say cliques into sisterhoods, where we can develop healthier and deeper relationships. A point or two that I got from this is that maturity is definitely needed, humility, and whatever you sow, you reap. And always have a big heart of love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Florence, do you have any closing remarks for us?
Yeah, I had something to add to what Auntie Bissy was saying as well. Just on the last point. So conflict is normal, but conflict resolution is where you need to get to. And like, how good a communicator are you as well? So that definitely adds to it. So that's all I have to say, really. But yeah.
And Auntie BC, any last final words of wisdom?
Well, sisterhood is important. We need it. We cannot build things by ourselves. We need people. So they are important. So we need to kind of put some sort of investment into it and expect something in return.
Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you so much to Florence and Auntie BC for your special guest appearance. We really appreciate you. And just to our viewers as well, honestly, take time to listen to this podcast, have a self-reflection, and just say, what do I want in the future? How do I want to develop my friendships into sisterhood or my cliques into sisterhood? And I pray that the Lord will help you do so in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you. Bye.
Like, comment,
subscribe,
share,
share,
all of it.
All of the above. Just do everything.